Hey, I'm Ryan with Warner Discovers, and today we're looking at the HTD DMA-1240ADS, which has automatic detect and switch technology to be able to transition from a voice assistant over to your line in on any of your zones. So let's take a look at what comes in the box. So first we have a nice little folder, which is a nice touch, htd.com, and inside we have the packing slip, the user manual. Then we have corresponding QR codes for their HTD Link system, their home audio app, some other products that they have for speakers and things like that. Nice little reminder to turn off the power before plugging anything in, and some other tips and tricks, and a nice little business card for one of their employees. So that is nice. Then we have the main power cable, and then we have the DMA device itself. Now in the front here we have a power button, and we have 12 separate volume dials. Each one you could specify the max amount of volume for each 12 channels. And then on the back, going from left to right, we have a section of system-wide available audio inputs. So at the top we have a delay knob, which basically delays the amount of time between the audio switching from the override to your line 1 and line 2 audio outputs. Underneath the line 1 and line 2 audio outputs is line 1 and line 2 outputs. So you can actually daisy chain your ins and your outs to another device. I kind of like to think about separating them out into zones, so each 2 channels will be one zone. So technically this would be supporting 6 rooms or 6 zones with 12 channels. So let's take for example 1 and 2. So at the top we have another delay knob, which delays the amount of time the audio switches between the voice assistant section and the regular audio in section. And then below that delay knob you have the actual voice assistant line in, which has a left and right, left on the channel 1, right on the channel 2. And then underneath that is a specific line in for each section. So again, left for the channel 1 and right for the channel 2. And then for each channel you can actually specify whether or not to mix the left or the right or both left and right, as well as a switch to basically use the system-wide line 1 or system-wide line 2 or this specific channel's line in. And below each one of those sections is a bridge mode where you can enable the bridge between channel 1 and channel 2 and potentially amplify your signal for stronger speakers. And then finally at the bottom of this section is your speaker inputs, obviously positive and negative, which have banana plugs, or you can choose to unscrew and insert the cable right in there like a typical receiver or any other amplifier. And then finally, all the way at the end, you have your override dip switch, which basically defines any zone that you would want to not output the audio to. So for example, if you're overriding the audio for all of the signals, you could shut off zone 6 if you didn't want zone 6 outputting that override. You can also specify the power selection between always on, auto on, or trigger. And there's in and out jacks for triggers in case you have this connected to a different amp or other connector or power management system. And then finally the power input for your plug. Now just based on my research, it seems like they've had this system out for a few years now. I only came across it just recently and it was the perfect solution for what I was looking for. Right now with my home audio solution, I have 6 zones, but only 4 source capabilities for those 6 zones. So I really need to pick and choose my presets for what audio is going to where. So with myself and a lot of different voice assistants around the house, I was really limited with the Bluetooth capability, switching in and out zones, and trying to hear the echoes around the house. So with this, each voice assistant has a line in, and it will temporarily override any audio source that's currently playing. So it offers you a lot of flexibility when it comes to voice assistants, sound, and just supporting a wide amount of options. And one thing that'll be really helpful is the line in override, especially when it comes to Home Assistant, where I can directly feed the audio output from Home Assistant right into the amplifier without the need of a third party. So I hope this was helpful for anybody looking at this same device. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be excited to integrate this into my own system. And thank you so much for watching.